So this is part of some of the research we do, right? Behind the scenes. So
Yep.
you're looking them up. So let's go through that again just because I want to make sure that I've caught it.
All right. So he was born in 1927, died 5 years ago, 6 years ago in 2019. He got his architecture degree from Berkeley in 1954. Oh, sorry, 51.
Mm-hmm.
And so he practiced architecture on his own starting in 1954.
So this is 1963. So this is just about 10 years after he started his practice. You said 9
He's
years.
like 12 years out of Berkeley, 9 years after he started his practice, and before he partnered with Con Lottery Boccato in 1968.
Mm.
And before he stopped working, resigned from Cal Poly Pomona in 1972 to form SciArc.
Okay. So before SciArc and before all of that. So where would we put these buildings? We're going to put them in kind of
Early work,
early
relatively
work.
early work.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's go take a look at it. This is just a real impromptu thing. It's not like super high production here. So we're here with Eldon, and you were just about to describe something about this unit. You said your brother owns it?
My brother owns this one. He bought it in the 1996. It was kind of a crash pad. We were in a band and would stay here when we were home, but moved back here in 2019 and did a lot of work. Did the terrazzo floors, the bathroom you'll see upstairs, a lot of paint.
And that bathroom tile in the powder room?
I think he did that, the tile in the powder room earlier.
Nice.
So that was, yeah, it's not original. The original were Formica.
Okay.
So were you and your brother Ray Kappe fans then, or how did this come about?
Yes, when we saw this in the 90s, we had to have it. And actually, when our neighbor Rob bought his in 98, we had a cocktail party and Ray and his wife came and saw everybody's units. And when I bought mine in 2019, I called Ray and asked him because surprisingly, nobody did photos. Julia Schulman, nobody did photos of this, so there's no pictures of original interior. So I asked him what were finishes, and he said it was vinyl downstairs and shag carpet upstairs. So we both did shag, and Jeff did the terrazzo tiles, had it all leveled out, and then recut the recessed baseboard because leveling it messed that up. So he did a lot of. It looks really clean in here when it's empty.
So
Wow.
it sounds like you guys are both architects. So was Dad an architect, or where did that
we're
come
not
from?
architects, just fans.
Just fans.
Just fans. Yeah, love architecture.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Ray Kappe. We did downstairs, but we found out that this is 9 years after him starting his firm. He's on his own at this point. 1960?
63, I think.
63.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he got out of Berkeley in 51, formed his own firm in 54, and he did that for, I think, 10 or 11 years before he partnered with Rex Lottery and Con and the other guy. So this was while he was in his early practice. 9 years into his early practice.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, we're excited to come and take a look, and thanks for being on camera with us.
My pleasure, and enjoy wandering around.
How about this?
How about this?
It's my twin brother here. So we're in the kitchen, and there's so many wonderful original details. The Formica was redone at some point, but it would have been original Formica. This overhang is really nice, allowing any drips to go beyond the face of the cabinetry. There's sort of a Schindler Neutra-esque pole detail that is uniquely Kappe, that no hardware on the face of any of the cabinets. They just have little finger pulls that are, I would call this maybe rabbited into the cabinets.
Yeah, but look at these hinges too, how they're embedded into there. They're hiding. And so I don't know, there's the European hinges, which are a lot larger, but these look like they're original, it looks like. They're
I
really
think
beautiful.
so. And they're what I used to call knife hinges, but usually you see that little piece on the outside face, but here it's completely hidden on the side.
So it's a galley kitchen, but you are confronted with this outdoor space that you can come out and have your coffee and have a drink, and then you've got
little barbecue.
Or barbecue. We come out here, and you've got the barbecue here, and some greenery up above.
You perceive the radius of the building, which is a nice feature in the front and back. And then looking back, on one hand, it is sort of a galley kitchen, but then on the other, you're connected to the dining area. So when you're entertaining and you're in here chopping vegetables and whatnot, you could still be having a conversation compared to, I had a 1920s house that really was a galley kitchen with doors. So when you were in there, there was no connection to any of the public spaces, where I feel like this is like a modified galley kitchen because of that connection to the outdoors and the connection to the dining room and
You're
living
right.
room.
It is compartmentalized, but you have access to the living. Actually, let's walk out there because I'm seeing this beautiful light that's coming. So it gets brighter as you're coming towards the living room too.
You've got this beautiful vertical grain, what appears to be fir maybe, or it might be redwood, or I'm not sure, but I would call it fir. And then the original spec of this wonderful shag carpeting, Eldon was talking with Ray Kappe, who said that was the original spec, and so they recreated it, which I think is part of the allure of this vintage unit.
Right. Should we go upstairs?
Yeah. Oh, wow, this is a nice space.
Oh, see, this is what I was talking about with the double height space here.
Yeah.
I love that the balcony is pulled back a little bit, so it does feel like there is a double height space down below, but then up here, you've got this beautiful view of the outdoors. And this would be a nice space. I mean, how would you use it? I think I'd probably use it as an office, kind of the way that they've got it staged now.
I think so. And you could have a guest bed, some sort of couch that folded out or something, if you needed a guest bedroom. But I'd love to be using this as my home office.
So do you want to talk about this bathroom? I think that's the original Formica as well, right? Same.
Yeah, so there's a consistency to the materials. The Formica was the original specification. You've got this pull detail, no hardware on the face. They've upgraded the hardware. This is a Hans Grohe, beautiful contemporary fixture that is compatible with this original architecture. I think this mirror system is original. Eldon was talking about mirrors all over the place down below. Mm-hmm. And this appears to be new. I would call it dowel tile, maybe, which is just a simple tile. But the fact that they've taken it floor to ceiling instead of sopping it at like 6'8" door height or something really makes this feel like a Japanese wet room.
It really does. And even this half partition wall, it's nice that there's a little bit of a separation between the shower and the toilet. So
true. And again, you've got this beautiful European Hans Grohe hardware, and shower's the right height.
And for me, I have kids, I think this is a perfect setup to be able to shower the kids or bathe the kids. And if water splashes all over the place, who cares?
Right. That's true.
And then this is the second bedroom. So this is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath.
Yeah. And I'm going to close this door and we can really hear how quiet it is in here. Mm-hmm. No need for draperies anywhere in the unit because you've got privacy.
And then again, you've got your outdoor space. That's the thing about these mid-centuries is that they've always accounted for outdoor space.
True.
These new designs nowadays, their balconies are so small. You notice that?
Yeah. And yeah, you can't do anything on a lot of those balconies. They're sort of 4 foot deep. You can't barely even stand out there, where here you've got a room for a couple of chairs and a table. And now that you mention it, every room has direct access visually and through a sliding door to an exterior space.
And that's how they did it. And the limitation doesn't stop at a multifamily property, because that's what happens is that you get into multifamily and then they design them, and a lot of them don't have these exterior spaces. But here Ray Kappe is proving that it's possible.
And I guess you can actually open this gate and walk around to the pool,
Let's do it.
Okay. There's a kind of communal element to this. We're walking by people's balconies and on our way to the pool. So it reminds me of kind of like a village.
It does feel communal, and I think that is a Ray Kappe trait. I have a friend, Pierre DeAngelis, who you've met, who works at his company is Good Project Co., an architect. And he used to live in a Ray Kappe, and he used to say that everyone felt similarly about Ray Kappe, and they would have these Friday night hangout sessions, and everyone in the units would come and hang out at, I think they would pick different apartments to go to. And so I feel like that was Ray Kappe's architecture brings that out to some degree.
So yeah, I think you've got kind of a community of like-minded architecture lovers that are drawn to this vintage.
Right. So you need both. You need the architecture, but then you also need that person who's interested in that type of architecture to
Exactly.
really make it communal.
Yeah.